I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl. I seen her recently. But where? That's when I made the connection. Man, Pearl has really changed careers in the past 8 years. No more spirit medium. It's all about magicians now. Magic where it's at. Look at this fateful showdown. This is a one-on-one. Meeting the two strongest lawyers. Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor. Will Mr. The witness state his name and occupation?
Is this farce necessary, Your Honor?
Believe me, far stranger things are going on in this courtroom.
Fine, I'll play along. Did the third game have any weird, witnesses? The first one had the parrot, and the second one had that, walkie-talkie.
Did the third game have any strange ones? I don't think so. I think the third game was pretty... The third game was pretty, solid. There wasn't, crazy witnesses in the third game, if I'm correct. If I remember correctly. First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about this secret beneath the victim's head? By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald.
Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it. I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin.
Damn, Phoenix, you just showed up with your theme music? Objection! Mr. Wright!
What do you think you're doing, Wright? Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off, except for that one time.
That one time, being the instant he was hit. Also, Judge, is Phoenix allowed to be next to me? What if he actually is the murderer? I'm in danger right now. Oh! When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to have been there in the hideout at the time of the crime.
In other words, I must be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. Not bad, Apollo.
Mr. Gavin, what was that villainous laugh?
I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court.
What? You're actually Mrs. Gavin?
Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright.
What?
Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation, I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night.
Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night? How did this trial become him versus Phoenix? Like, Apollo and Penny are just there. They're just side characters.
Yep. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that that was not the best place for me to be at the time, so I left. That's when the call came from Wright.
So, you witnessed the murder?
For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed.
Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client.
What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand. After all, I'm under oath. So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the crime scene of the... Sorry. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window.
Mr. Wright?
You had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right, Apollo?
Oh. Damn, you're playing a chess? You're doing a big brain chess game, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. Alright. The rage has sensed the man, Nitro means I'll return to the club. Let's try to pay attention to his cues, see if he messes up. That man. You mean Mr. Smith?
It was different from the other customers. His aura, shall we... Oh, sorry. He was different from the other customers. His aura, shall we say. I knew he was a serious poker player, but it was more than that.
So then, you knew the true nature of your client's job.
Of course, but I also knew he wasn't engaged in gambling, which would be illegal.
Well, it makes sense that he know. They were friends after all.
Worried for my friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be coming to settle an old score.
I see. What happened then? Went down the basement and peeked into the little window, huh?
He looks very smug on that statement.
Yep. The little window. It's true what Phoenix said. Like, he had to say that he looked through the window. It's like his only alibi he can use. So I think we have to attack it. So, the little window, huh? You mean the one used to keep watch up in the stairs? Why aren't you talking, boss?
Wouldn't he have had to pass Phoenix to go down the stairs to look through the window? Because Phoenix is on the first level. Yes, a relic of the ancient past. The Black Marketeers used it, I believe.
Yeah, your thought right there is good. Hold on to that. Why did you go through the trouble of peeking through the window? Would it have been easier to just open the door and go into the room?
I didn't want to upset Wright, you see.
Upset Mr. Wright?
Yes, but if my fears had been unfounded, I'd be walking in on their match. Bad form, to say the least.
So far, everything he's saying makes sense. Hold on, I think the timeline is that he came back and looked through the window before the crime even happened. So, like, him running across Phoenix wouldn't have happened. Wait,
True.
it must have been right after the murder.
He said he looked in and saw Phoenix holding the bottle right after he killed him. Then he left. Then Phoenix went upstairs to make the phone call.
Yeah, so we have to attack that timeline. Okay, so it must have been right after the murder took place. This is where we can start looking into details. How do you know it was right after the murder?
Really, no need to shout, Justice. I was just getting to that part of my testimony. There he is. The coolest defense in the West we know and love. Even when you're standing up there on the witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid you changed too, right? But you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours.
Friends like these, who needs enemies? Victim was dead as he appeared in the photo.
You know how Wright's always getting attacked by shit? Like he's getting whipped and coffee thrown at
Yeah.
him and birds coming pecking him? If you're always gonna be like your stand-in for this game, that'd be funny if people still attacked him and not Apollo.
It would be. The victim was dead as he appeared in the photo, huh? That's a very concrete statement you're making. By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene.
Precise. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. I saw his head when he was dead.
And then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat.
Can you describe the scene of the crime for us? I forgot I was here, to be honest.
Bald head, unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. Those were the only three at the scene of the crime?
Yes, as far as I saw at least.
Then, we're back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But, why didn't you talk to the police?
2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. And second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
Oh? There must have been someone else there down the moment of the crime!
Justice, I just said I saw no one, not a soul.
But, that goes against what Mr. Wright said!
Ah, yes, this mysterious 4th person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose. Glad to say we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap the cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary.
How can I show something I can't find myself?
Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace.
The 5th ace, right. Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer will swap out card has been raised. Can you point to a reason?
Why did
I think Gavin's saying, if I did it, why would I bother switching the cards
blood
around?
on it?
Oh. But wouldn't that just be Shady's blood? Or is it not Shady's blood?
Saying, yeah, it could be Gavin's blood. Like they had a fight back and forth.
Yeah, we got the card, right? Actually, what does the card even say? I don't think we even checked it out. Received from Mr. Girl, 5th ace. What's this red thing? Single drop of blood marks the front of the card. Alright. Volume 8, right? The ace with the volume 8 on it. Oh, but that was on Phoenix's side. Wait, but this one doesn't have blood on it.
That's the one that got swapped.
Ah.
Or that's because there's a 5th ace. It would have to be a duplicate card, right?
Yes, that's true. But Phoenix's card got swapped?
No, he just he just swapped the one that had blood on it. He probably just picked up the ace off the ground or wherever.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it fell out of the bottle.
Maybe. Okay. But we have the ace card, so it's now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. Then go right ahead and point out your reason, Mr.
Why did
Justice.
Phoenix's daughter have the one that he swapped?
I don't know. That's interesting.
It's
Is
magic.
it possible that she's the 4th person in the room?
Oh my god, maybe Phoenix won for 7 years because he was cheating. She was helping him. Remember,
Yeah,
he said the easiest way to cheat would be to have another person there helping you.
Yeah. But then how come nobody sees her? You know?
That's part of why he's such a good cheat.
Yeah, I guess
She's
so.
probably doing some magic trick.
It has to be, yeah. But yeah, she must be the 4th person. Go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 5th ace? Why did the killer take the 5th ace? I mean, there's blood on it, right? That's the answer? My reason is, this that I got.
Is that an ace?
Why, it's got blood on it. Right next to the spade. I didn't even know we had that sound effect.
What?
You know, I think I can read his face, his cues right now. He's not happy.
Yeah, I think I can read his body language. He's not having a good time anymore.
This is insane! Why wasn't I told about this? Why?
Could this be? Could this be the missing 5th ace?
Inconceivable. How could you? What are you doing with that card?
Well, that's the thing. Why is he getting so upset? It's just a fishy card from some weird girl.
Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock in trade, after all.
Oh, he objected.
No, impossible, unacceptable.
Oh, I got put more energy into him, man. He's getting angry. His calm demeanor's gone.
The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think that the only person who would claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason?
The reason for
the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime.
Where are you going with this?
Take another look at the photo and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down to the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards?
I suppose.
The killer then took the card to hide the blood. Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible. Oh? Right. Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. We can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important right now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now, I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see. This is baseless conjecture. Baseless.
Ooh.
Oh, I assure you it's quite based. Well, what? It's amazing, really. How a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo?
Phoenix, just tell them.
Try picturing the scene of the crime in your head.
Okay. Oh, 3D.
Oh, what is
Man.
this budget?
Yeah, this is some good budget they got.
The murder took place in the heat out.
Hold on, my stream's acting up.
Let me know if I need to restart it.
The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And before the killer swapped the card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with the scene.
Well, what is it?
Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on the card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses? whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card.
I believe it's 2.
Yeah. 2. Why would number 2's blood be here? The second witness's position is the problem! The second witness? That would be Mr. Gavin, yes?
The second witness's position is far less problematic than yours right now, Justice. Or perhaps perilous is a better word.
I cannot see what the bloodstained card has to do with the second witness's location. I'm afraid you're more than a pair of penalties time. We got it wrong?
We got it wrong?
Oh, wow. Y'all, one more chance. Let me try it again. I suppose. Do think it over, Mr. Justice. Alright. Fast forward.
Okay, so there was blood in the victim's hand that would have fucked it up.
Let's see. Given the single drop of blood on the card. Whose position does not fit? Wait a second. Remember what I just said? Remember how I said the ace was on Phoenix's side?
Oh yeah.
So wouldn't that mean that it's weird that the blood was on the killer's side, assuming that Phoenix was the killer?
Yeah, but the swapped card was on the victim's side.
Right. Also, where did this witness come from? Oh, it's the girl. It's the girl. I see. I can't see our clues. There was a drop of blood in a card whose position on this diagram doesn't fit.
So the blood was running backwards down the back of his head, but there was blood on the card in his hand. Does that mean the body got moved? And the victim and the killer, or the victim and the killer were actually in different seats?
Could be, but
Why would he move the body then, though?
yeah, that's what I'm like trying to put together, right? If the victim was thrown backwards, head backwards, blood going down the back because they emphasized that. They emphasized that. But why would... Why would there be blood on the ace, and why would that matter if the person's head was tilted back?
Is the piano in this room?
No.
Are you sure? Didn't he say he always sits by the piano?
Actually, damn, I don't remember. I can't see the clues.
You think those are shelves or a piano back behind the victim?
It could be.
Because if that was the piano, that would mean that that's Phoenix's spot.
Yeah. It is. But what does that have to do with the card?
I don't know. I wish it would do that 3D thing so I could look at the room in 3D again. What if you hit F?
What if I hit F?
Yeah.
So it'll just go forward?
Well, it says you can present here.
Yeah, because I'm supposed to pick one of these.
Oh,
then
and
present it.
that's just the button you press to do it?
Yeah. Well, R is the button I press to do it. I see what you were saying about the piano, but I don't know how it connects to the card. What is so weird about the card being switched?
Okay, process of elimination. Click victim.
Victim?
Yep, we got 5 hits. There's only 4 answers.
Well, isn't the victim's position that's a problem? My second try. I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck in the head, sending him back on his chair. Okay. I think a blow will fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Take a look at the photo again. If he blend this position, the blow will fall on the floor, not on the cards. Was it really just that simple?
Oh. I thought they were trying to lead us somewhere else.
I know. We were trying to do some big brain 3D thinking. They've got us with that 3D. They fooled us with that 3D. Why, that's right. So what does this mean? Such a simple answer. I'm so glad you easily came to the conclusion.
Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs.
Swivel chairs? Oh man.
Apollo, try turning the chair around.
Oh, we get to turn the chair around. Let me spin it.
Go ahead.
I'm trying.
Hit space.
Whee! The chair was facing the other way.
You couldn't see his bald head.
It would have to be. So we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing?
When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in this photo.
That would mean the killer turned the chair back around.
Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know now the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction.
Again.
Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we?
Oh god, let's not.
Apollo, whose location on this new diagram contradicts our understanding of the crime?
Now it's 2. Because then we can't see his bald head.
Wait, wouldn't it be easier to see the bald head because of...
Oh no, now his
it's-
head is facing away.
Ah. Who's looking to create contradiction if the victim was facing away? You're right. It is number 2 now. What doesn't make sense is the second witness.
You mean to say I don't make sense?
Oh, no, of course you do, sir.
As I thought.
Ow.
Just stop clicking on that too.
I'm a little hard of hearing. Did you just say something? Would you be kind enough to show the court one more time what you mean? Okay. See, before you said 2, I was thinking like, if he was facing away, doesn't that mean he was probably sitting somewhere else?
Well, it would be the killer, right? Because the killer couldn't have been. He got hit on the front of the head. So the killer would be like by his legs.
Yes, the killer can't kill him. Whose location in this country is a new understanding of the crime? Isn't it just the victims again then? Whose location creates a contradiction if the victim was facing away? Wouldn't it be the victim again? Because like if he was facing this way, how could he get hit in the front of the head? That's the logic I'm doing.
Unless his fucking head was smashed into that case. And it wasn't with the wine bottle.
Even if that theory is true, wouldn't that still be the victim as the answer?
You can try victim again. I think it's killer now though.
Why?
Because the killer can't be standing right where he is now and then hit him across the table with a wine bottle. He'd have to be in front of him.
Yeah. I like your theory. We can do a killer. The victim was struck from the front, right? As Kevin said.
Indeed.
Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Sitting where his indicator currently is?
I would think it'd be quite hard, yes.
Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game?
I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light.
What?
There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Where is the fourth person? Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing?
Like in the fucking cabinet, right?
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Oh my god, was he fucking hiding in the cabinet and then when he opened the cabinet door he got struck?
What? But there's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Or is there?
Don't worry, let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing towards the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget everything else. Where would the killer have to be standing to strike our victim from the front?
Yeah, right? Basic kindergarten answer. The killer had to be standing in the closet.
You get points for flair, but that's about all you get.
Is it really not the closet?
I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible.
Is there a secret room back there?
The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Are you claiming the killer climbed above the cupboard and hit him?
From above.
It's simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that at the very moment of the crime,
Wait, I know. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there? Actually, I didn't expect that.
It is like a speakeasy, right? Like it's full of secret rooms and shit.
Yeah. What's this now?
I mean, that's the only explanation. Right, Mr. Gavin. Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately.
Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately.
He's the fucking defendant and he's ordering around his team.
Have them try to move the cupboard.
Your Honor,
What?
there's one more thing you mentioned. Look for. Please give this to the bailiff.
Huh? Yeah, sure. I'll take this note from you, the murder suspect.
It says your phone number on it. Or the heart.
You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright.
I do my best. Well, let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't there, which means
Try moving it in my mind palace? Alright, I'll move it in my mind palace, Phoenix.
Uh-oh, it's gonna block the window.
Oh no!
thank you.
Thanks for bringing this technology, Phoenix.
As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it had to have been shown as here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. What's this?
What is it now?
Look at the diagram. Look at the window. It appears we found another contradiction. What I believe to be the final, decisive contradiction, in fact.
Huh?
I think it's
Oh,
finally
dang.
time to click the number 2.
No. I think the witness. I think there was something up with the witness. Maybe the witness was not knocked out this entire time.
Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion.
Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradicting indicator. Is it the victim, the killers, the witness, the second witness? How many fucking times are we gonna repeat this? Which indicator in the diagram contradicts what we know about the crime? I don't know, man. I'm kind of sticking with the witness, and I think she was lying. I don't think she even existed.
You're a fucking idiot, Apollo, and you got it wrong again.
Well, about this number 2 that I keep trying to push, guys. Are we all okay with assuming that the cupboard was moved?
Whatever.
Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard will completely cover up the window to the stairs. Oh, that's right. Someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin.
What did you say? Oh, I thought you were cool.
Yeah. Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right?
It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window was covered. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness this crime scene from?
Excuse me.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
You got. Order! This is a court of law, now we have order!
We just now received word from the investigative team at the Borscht Bowl Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor.
Oh? And what did they find?
Judge, did your voice just get lower to match mine? Well, Your Honor, it turns out that there's a secret passage behind it.
What?
Yes. I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of those tricks to the room that many of our regulars know about.
I do remember him saying that something about that, now that he mentions it.
A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings-on. Not that I did anything illegal there. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law.
So the room has a secret passage. Where does it go?
The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. You want to hear him eat the borscht? You see where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo.
I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I need this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked, and the victim's hat was only off his head for the few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Come on, say something. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Well, that night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mrs. Smith, a date with destiny. There he crouched, hid in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it. Ah! What? Why did you do that? Wait here, I'll get help. Miss Olga Orley was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped from the secret passageway and into the hideout.
The victim must must have heard the cupboard sliding aside.
He wheeled his chair around to look and...
After the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime.
Too bad for him he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor. And the fact that they were all red!
Yeah.
Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne!
What? Yes, Your Honor?
The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately.
Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand.
Your point, Mr. Gavin.
Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber will be taken in by such low-grade parlor trick.
Excuse me?
The defendant is cleared of all suspicion? This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocent here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else.
You mean like his best friend?
And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney.
Illegal evidence?
Let me ask you, Gavin. Is there any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing?
Of course, this bottle, for instance.
The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking.
How did you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints, am I right, Mr. Payne?
Why, yes, they're upside down.
Exactly what Kevin said. What? I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. That was never solved.
The court and this case demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down. And that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor?
See how the codfish squirms to the last. Well, Apollo.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of don't know if I'm gonna be honest, Mr. Phoenix.
Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still. But I'm sure you can come up with an explanation just like that.
Well, Mr. Phoenix, if you didn't do it, why would you hold the ball like that? Why would you do this to me? Yeah. Just like that? Why would you hold the
Mr.
ball
Phoenix,
like that?
were you masturbating with the bottle?
Why would you hold this bottle and look sus like that, Mr. Phoenix? Why? Why? Why?
Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one.
Is there really another?
Take a look at the court record. I believe you'll find the answer waiting there for you, in plain sight.
Ooh, we haven't been doing good with plain sight answers tonight. How about you just say the answer, Phoenix? Why? It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions indeed. Well, Mr. Justice? Mr. Gavin said that the court and this case demands an explanation. Don't worry, justice will leave until justice is done. Perhaps the defense will care.
Catchphrase.
What?
Catchphrase.
Perhaps the defense will care to enlighten the court. What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints are on the bottle? On the bottle upside down? Shit, I don't know. Oh, is it because he grabbed it? You think it's because he grabbed it to drink?
Well, why would you drink it with your hand upside down?
No, I mean like to pick it out of the crate. Do you not get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Like if you're sitting in his position, right, and you want to grab a bottle, think about how you would move your hand to grab it.
Yeah, but then I'd flip it back the other way right away anyway.
But your fingerprints would have already been left on it the moment you touched it, you know? Of you grabbing it upside down.
Maybe. Let's look at the other evidence first. Okay. The bottle itself. What does this say? Grape juice. Okay. We haven't used this phone yet. I highly doubt it has anything to do with the phone though. These are just cards. I don't think they relate. Well, you have a better theory? I guess not yet.
Did you say not yet?
Yeah,
As in it's
I
still
haven't thought of
brainstorming?
anything yet.
Okay.
Is there anything on the bottom of the bottle? Did we look through the bottom?
Bottle's complete, empty. Yeah, that's all it says. Nothing suspicious around the bottle. Nothing suspicious on the bottom. Completely empty.
Is it a profile?
We don't have profiles. At least right now we don't.
Maybe you're right. He just did just grab the bottle. That's the only thing I could think of.
And it's a very simple answer, like you said, right?
Yeah, like and Phoenix said, it's a plain, obvious answer, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm assuming. I can't think of anything else. This picture. It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bar on the floor next to your chair. Excuse me? On the floor? Yeah, now reach down, pick it up.
Oh, so it literally was just because it was on the ground next to his feet.
Yep, without getting
You're
out of your
right.
chair. See, you naturally go pick up the bottle by its neck. With your fingers upside down! Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano
Flops.
in flip-flops, bottles of grape juice on the floor to that side of the piano bench. He sat there in flip-flops. What a fucking crazy madman. He would have naturally picked up the bottle upside down several times. Wow, I can't believe it was that simple.
Me either.
Recall our dinner that night, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then, too.
Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed. But then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano. And you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon.
Wright did say he never touched the murder weapon.
Order, order, order. What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin?
Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. It's like his daughter's a magician.
What? What?
You claim that I switched the bottle? Where is your proof?
Proof? Well, that's,
As I thought, more baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honor. When you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation?
Ah, yes. I have your memo about that right here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Borch Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question.
What are you gonna do? Dust for fingerprints too? I'd be surprised if any were on this, but his.
Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake, true. That bottle won't bear a trace of anything.
It's gonna have the card in it.
Say, Apollo,
Yes?
why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle?
But why?
Just to humor me.
Mr. Wright.
That bottle will solve this case once and for all.
What? That's some bottle? Wow. It's grape juice. I can't believe it.
What's this red shit in my grape juice?
I can't believe it. It was grape juice all along. But what's this behind it? There's something inside this bottle. Wow. Animation. You did it. What? What's this?
That card, it can't be. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment.
Miss Olga Orley?
The ugly one, yes. Our swindling Devochka.
And I planted the car like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But what the fuck? That car's gone. Our trap. Well, wait. This isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted car you disposed of? The one you mentioned, this piece of testimony.
I'm gonna put my kids in the bucket and find a card. Yes, I stuck a peek at it and found it in the 5 of the hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game.
Disposed? Where?
It was actually a bottle of grape juice that had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. The 5 of hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped. And the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Christoph Gavin.
What's happening? What is going on? Damn.
You've awakened my latent psychic power, right?
I take back everything I said. He has psychic powers. I'm scared.
That is all. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright?
Revenge?
Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago. My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete, right?
I assume you know what that means.
Sure.
You don't know what that means.
This is insane. What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone?
Thanks for being an audience member, Payne. I believe the time we've finally come to the end of the trial for real this time. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin?
He's a bad guy. We got him. He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest right now.
I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he?
None that we know of.
Mr. Wright, have you anything to add?
I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter.
About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. An odd profession to be sure, and that's all we know about him.
I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor.
Good. Mr. Wright?
Yes.
7 years. And you still haven't lost your touch.
Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer.
He was extremely talented, to be sure.
I needed two things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated, this courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney, you, Apollo.
Me?
This is a dark time for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right.
Mr. Wright.
Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it.
Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Woo! Your first confetti with us, Kevin. Woo! Welcome! Damn, they're really cheaping on the confetti. It's fucking just diamonds. They have budget for fancy confetti, I see.
Nope.
Court
Just glue it all on the 3D.
Court is adjourned. We did it.
Thank you, Apollo. You came through just like I thought you would.
I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. For real, I don't even think I did a single thing. It was literally you who caught Mr. Gaff, the killer.
I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability.
I mean, I did shout a lot today, so I did felt it.
Yes, a sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough.
Wait, I wonder if he means...
When I got really horny for that chick?
Yeah. I guess I'm finally becoming an adult. What was that, Mr. Wright?
You'll have to find the answer to that question yourself.
The answer. Right. Today was full of questions without answers. Most of them were about Mr. Gavin.
What possible reason could he have to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come.
Huh? Wait, you don't know, do you?
This locket is the key.
Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. Let me open it. I want to see you confirm one more time.
Wait, why is my picture in the locket now?
Your daughter, right?
That's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket.
Eh?
I took this off his neck the night he died. But it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him.
Wait, but that's perjury. You testified. You said that locket was yours.
I said no such thing, actually.
Huh?
I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless.
When did Phoenix get so savvy? Every other game he's just like fucking blundering through everything.
Now he's
It's the
learning.
truth.
Yeah, now he's learning a lot of subtlety skills. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it?
I also stole his daughter. Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career.
Speaking of which, Speaking of which, you know, I may be out of a job because my boss is in jail now. I still can't believe I just saw my boss get taken away. Now I got no job.
Apollo?
Yeah.
How about coming to work for me?
Eh? You mean at the Right and Co law offices that's been closed for some years now? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it.
I can't imagine that to be true, but
Wait, but didn't you? You're not a.
oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore.
That incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man, Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion, and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts?
I'm not qualified to stand in the court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial, there was a single piece of forged evidence?
Oh shit. Forged evidence? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick.
One piece of evidence struck me as odd, it's true.
It's the fucking ace. He really did forge evidence?
Oh god, Phoenix has turned to the dark side. It just seemed, well, too perfect. Yeah, very convenient. But this was the forged evidence. It was so convenient. Damn. Take that! You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, quote unquote, Mr. Wright.
Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left. Leaving the wrong card in its place, luckily for us. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud.
Oh, that's how he knew it was a fraud.
Because he had the real one?
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think that the only person who could claim it was a fraud was you. The killer.
Yeah, we really won't get the real one. So that's how he knew it was a fake.
My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago.
Then, you really?
Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real.
But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney.
Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo?
So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago.
None of that matters now, does it?
Oh, did he smack him?
I did, yeah, I think he did. Fucking cheater! punched him.
It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you'd like.
Mr. Wright.
Oh, about your uppercut. It's supposed to go like this.
Oh my god, that's the fucking soundboard I just did.
Try yelling, "Take that" next time. I find it packs a little more punch.
But that's what I just did. I did that. And you said it was weak.
And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time.
And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. And at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I find that out soon enough. How is this gonna be connected to? I mean, I guess I can see how, but it's a little... My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law, and this is how my story begins. Chapter 1. Alright, so what did you think of chapter 1?
It's fun.
I guess the more important question is, what do you think of Phoenix?
I like this fucking scary, shady, evil Phoenix. I gotta say, Apollo seems like he has like no personality yet, though.
I mean, it's a story, right? He's gonna develop. We're gonna develop Apollo, and we're gonna see what the hell happened with Phoenix.
Yeah, where's Maya? Where's Pearls?
Yeah, where's the gang? The gang's all gone. But with that, I think that's a good place to end it, right?
Yep.
Alrighty, that was part 1. Let's get to the next episode soon.
Bye.
Bye, Shane.